What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be talking about are the top free agents for the Ravens to target. And it's not going to be the most popular in terms of guys that I think Ravens fans want. It's supposed to be kind of like a sleeper free agent target list. Not going to talk about Justin Houston. I think that's so many Ravens fans' number one free agent option, including my own. So Justin Houston's because everybody just almost everybody, not everybody thinks it, but so many people think that the Ravens should go after him. I don't really want to talk about him. I've made so many videos on Justin Houston. I'm going to talk about some other players that the Ravens could potentially sign because they do still have some cap space, even though they did sign a couple of players in the last few days. We still got some money that we could go out and get a free agent. So let's start it off. And the first player that I think I'm going to talk about is not going to be an edge rusher. It's going to be a player I talked about once in a video a very long time ago, and that is Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker was a free safety and he played for the Colts. His fifth-year option was not accepted from the Colts because he's had an injury history at the free safety position. However, when Malik Hooker has played, he's been absolutely sensational. And, if you've seen his interceptions that he's had in his career, they're maybe the best of any free safety in the NFL. Am I saying he's the best free safety? No, but he's got some great picks. I think he has 7 interceptions in his career. I think he's only played something like 38 games in the 4 seasons of his career. So very, very limited in terms of injury history. He's coming off of a season-ending injury, but he's been waiting a long time. He wants to get his shot, and I think if the Ravens could get him for cheap, he'd be a great addition to the team because if you guys don't know, I'm a big believer that we're still needing a free safety. Now, I hope our Darius Washington is able to fill that role. I hope Brandon Stevens is able to fill that role. However, both of those guys could be players that the Ravens look at for the future. And so there's maybe a possibility of the Ravens targeting Malik Hooker for a short-term deal as kind of a prove-it deal because Malik Hooker wants to prove he can stay healthy and that he can still play top-level football. So then maybe he could get a massive contract in the future. And then the Ravens, if the Ravens are trying to win a Super Bowl this year, do they want to put a rookie that's never really played safety at safety in Brandon Stevens and try and use him as a free safety or use 2 box safeties? I don't really like saying box safety because I don't really consider Deshaun Elliott like a true box safety, but he plays more like a box safety than a free safety. Use kind of like what they've been doing in recent years and kind of sacrifice the coverage in the secondary, in the second part of the secondary at the safety position. Or do they want to go with Malik Hooker, who is a proven guy who can definitely cover and he can make big plays for your defense? And I don't think he would be wildly expensive because, like I said, he's coming off of a massive injury. And we could get him on a prove-it deal, similar to what we signed Sammy Watkins to. Sammy Watkins wants to prove he can be healthy, and potentially he'll get a big contract if he stays healthy and balls out. But the Ravens need to contend for a Super Bowl. And adding in a very solid free safety could absolutely help them do that. So I'm on board with signing Malik Hooker. But as always, let me know in the comments your thoughts on all the players that I bring up because I'm going to bring up a bunch of players in this video. So let me know. I won't be able to comment when this video is released. I'm recording this on Wednesday. It's released on Thursday. I'm going to be driving home it's typically 12 to 14 hours driving home. So tomorrow, Friday, I will actually have a new setup. Hopefully I'll get the Lamar Jackson signed jersey in the background. It'll look way better than this bland blinds and I don't know what color the walls are. Cream. It's not very visually appealing, I'll say that. But so with that said, come to the Live with the Viewers on Saturday. If you want to be a part of that, make sure to DM me on Twitter. I'll get back to you probably Friday. But that's just kind of a warning. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video, so I'll say it now. But next player, I think there's 2 players that the Ravens could target in terms of edge rushers that obviously isn't Justin Houston. That would be Melvin Ingram and Olivier Vernon. Now, Melvin Ingram is I think is definitely the bigger risk as he didn't have any sacks last year. Now he was injured, and he was able to still play decently well. It's just that is a risk. Getting an older defensive lineman or outside linebacker, wherever you want to play him as an edge rusher, that didn't produce in the most recent season is a bit concerning for me. Whereas a guy like Olivier Vernon was able to have 9 sacks last year, which is insane. Now, remember, Olivier Vernon was playing next to Myles Garrett. Playing next to a superstar edge rusher will always inflate your statistics. So I wouldn't expect 9 sacks out of Olivier Vernon if he came to the Ravens. I would expect maybe 5. I think I would be very happy with 5 as true sacks, not schemed up blitzes and things like that. Because, Wink can get you extra sacks. But, you look at his previous years, 3.5, 7, 6.5, 8.5, 7.5, 6.5. Solid production. Hasn't really, fallen off the statistical cliff late in his career at 30 years old. Melvin Ingram, though, no sacks last year. 7 in the 2 years prior, and he was a Pro Bowler, but he's coming off of an injury, only played in 7 games. I'm much more on the Olivier Vernon train than Melvin Ingram. However, if the Ravens got one of them, at least it's an edge rusher. I wouldn't be disappointed with Melvin Ingram. I would just prefer Olivier Vernon. But as always, let me know who you think is the better guy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Justin Houston, better than both of them. But that's just to clarify that, because sometimes people misconstrue what I say, and they basically say my thoughts in the comments and things like that. But sorry, I'm a bit sick. But overall, edge rusher, I think Olivier Vernon would be the better option, because Justin Houston, like I talked about in the "Why isn't Justin Houston signed yet" video, he wants money. He wants a lot of money. Ravens probably won't be able to pay that. So Olivier Vernon, I think, will be a cheaper option as well. Then the final guys, sorry, but the final 2 guys are 2 AFC North rival defensive tackles in Geno Atkins and Sheldon Richardson. Do we 100% need a defensive tackle? No, we don't. It's not a need. We have Brandon Williams. We have Justin Madubuike. I messed that up. But and potentially Broderick Washington. Now I'm super confused on that situation, because the charges were dropped, or 6 charges were dropped. I can't remember how many initial charges he had, but I think the NFL is doing an investigation of some sort to see if he's going to be suspended or banned or whatever happens with that. So I wouldn't count on him this year. But Geno Atkins and Sheldon Richardson are both very solid defensive tackles. Heck, we've played against them. We know Geno Atkins is very good. And I think that we could probably get Sheldon Richardson on a bit of a cheap deal. I don't think Geno Atkins would be able to come super cheap. I just think he's the best option available in the free agent market at the defensive tackle position. And I felt like it's a possibility the Ravens bring in one, just because Brandon Williams really can't rush the passer or anything like that, and Geno Atkins can. So pairing him with Madubuike, well, in passing situations, if we've got Madubuike and Geno Atkins, all of a sudden you can get some sacks out of that. But obviously, we also have Calais. We've also got Derek Wolfe. We've got a lot of defensive linemen. I'm not saying these are the perfect options. I'm just saying that there are other areas that the Ravens could explore signing. Because obviously, if I did my rankings, it would be clearly Justin Houston, and then it would fall off a lot. Now, there are some other free agents that I've talked about in previous videos that I do really like. Guys like Le'Veon Bell. I don't want to, I've already made a video on Le'Veon Bell. I don't want to give my reasoning again, but I like Le'Veon Bell. The top free agent available still is definitely Richard Sherman. We're not getting Richard Sherman. I just want to let that be known. I just wanted to bring that up in case anybody commented. We're not going to get Richard Sherman. He's going to want a lot of money. Initially, it was expected that he would be going to the Jets. Hasn't happened yet because he wanted to retain with Robert Saleh, but he's going to want a lot of money. Richard Sherman's a very good player still. Still a star cornerback in this league. But the final guy is the least likely to be available, and it's a player that could be cut in training camp, and that's Von Miller. I made this video a very long time ago about Von Miller. I doubt anybody watching now saw it, or maybe like 5 people saw it. But Von Von Miller could be cut by the Broncos. It's been discussed in plenty of recent off seasons. Like, is this the year that he gets cut? Because they're not trying to contend. They've got a new star pass rusher in Bradley Chubb, and if they don't want to contend, come on, their quarterback is, whether they start Drew Lock or they start Teddy Bridgewater. Not great options. I like Teddy. Teddy Two Gloves. I think he's really good or really solid. He's not amazing by any means. Pre-injury, he was really good. I really liked him before the massive injury. But if they cut Von Miller, I think the Ravens should maybe hold. I think that's maybe why they are holding out, is because they know that there could be guys that get cut. So if you think of any guys that you think could be cut, like I mentioned Von Miller, let me know in the comments down below. Because obviously I don't know everything about every team and their roster situations. So if maybe you're from some other place and you're a Ravens fan and you're like, oh, this guy could get cut, let me know and I can talk about that. But overall, this video was just to kind of go over different free agent options that the Ravens still have, because they do have a little bit of money. They could definitely still improve their defense with free agency, but let me know who you want the Ravens to sign. Once again, Justin Houston's my number one target, but I didn't want to give explanations why. I just think it's the best. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. Hopefully there was news out today. I don't know if there will be, because I'm recording this in the future, but I'll see all of you again tomorrow.